Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin shortly. Please take your seats. PolyU Council and Court members, Professor Edwin Zhang, Departmental Advisory Committee members of the School of Accounting and Finance, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to the FB Dawn and CEO Luncheon organized by the PolyU Business School. I'm Leo Lee, a Year 4 student from the School of Accounting and Finance, and I'll be your MC today. Our speaker today is Dr. Jimmy JIN, Assistant Dean, Fundraising and Development, and Associate Professor in the School of Accounting and Finance. He will share with us his insights into Aegis, blockchain, cybersecurity, and digital assets. Dr. Jin's presentation will be followed by a Q&A session chaired by Professor Mike Lai, Associate Dean, Academic Support, Interim Head of the Department of Logistics and Maritime Studies, and Chair Professor of Shipping and Logistics. Before lunch starts, may we invite Professor Edwin Zhang, our Faculty Dean, to say a few words. Professor Zhang, please.
Good to see all of you here. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and guests, welcome to this luncheon hosted by the PolyU Business School. We are delighted to see all of you here today. Blockchain technology is widely recognized as a major disruptive innovation that has the potential to reduce operational risks and transform traditional business practices. However, due to its decentralized nature, debates continue about its impact on cybersecurity. Some believe that blockchain enhances cybersecurity, while others argue that it introduces significant new risks. Today, our speaker will help us reconcile these contrasting views. Dr. Jimmy JIN, our speaker today, is a respected member of our faculty, serving as our assistant dean and an associate professor in the School of Accounting and Finance. He is also the director of the Center for Business Technology and Innovations, and the deputy director of the OSL PolyU FB Research Center for Web 3.0 AI. Dr. JIN has authored over 50 papers in leading journals reflecting his research interests in fintech, technology management, and interdisciplinary studies. His work has earned him numerous international awards, including the AIS Early Career Award, the Morgan Stanley Prize for Excellence in Financial Markets, the Gold Award in the Internet Plus Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition, and a silver medal at the Geneva International Exhibition of Inventions. In addition to his academic roles, Dr. JIN is actively involved in several professional capacities. He serves on the panel of the Hong Kong Science and Technology Park's incubation program and has contributed to assessment reports on central bank digital currencies. For example, the e-Hong Kong Dollar project. He is also an independent director of Rui He Data Technology Limited. In his presentation today, Dr. JIN will draw on his recent research, shedding light on the protective and transformative potential of blockchain technology in enhancing cybersecurity and managing digital assets. The word Aegis, featured in the title of Dr. JIN's talk, signifies protection by a strong force and has its roots in Greek mythology. He uses his term to suggest that blockchain can serve as a shield against operational risks and traditional business vulnerabilities, while also addressing the debates and challenges associated with its implementation. His analysis of the impact of blockchain on cybersecurity will provide insights for executives and policymakers responsible for overseeing its implementation. As we enjoy today's luncheon, I encourage you to engage in a rewarding discussion and help create a meaningful exchange of ideas. I'm confident that Dr. JIN's presentation will captivate our attention and provide thought-provoking insights, deepening our understanding of today's topic. Thank you for being here today. Please join me. I think let's do the lunch first. I suppose all of you are hungry now. And then we have scheduled the presentation to start at 1:05 because that will be live broadcast. So let's stick to this schedule and first enjoy the lunch first. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Zhang. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy your lunch. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now warmly welcome Dr. Jimmy JIN to the stage. Dr. JIN, please.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's FD Dawn and Luncheon. Around 1 month ago, Professor Chen told me that, Jimmy, I want to invite you for a lunch. I said, usually there's no free lunch. And he said, yes, you have to give a talk. And the same applies to you guys. There's no free lunch. You have to listen to my talk. Yes, thank you, Professor Chen, for your invitation and also wonderful introduction of the title. I don't have to repeat one more time, but at the beginning, I tried to write down some keywords. I write down blockchain, cybersecurity, and digital asset. Why I do not write down the AI? Because the last year, we already have another talk about AI already. So I think we had better to give the overall word. So I think about Aegis. And the Professor has mentioned the major idea of Aegis with those shield. He didn't mention another characteristics about this shield. I can simply show you right here. You see what's this? This is Medusa's head. You know that when Medusa's eyes on you, then everything locked, frozen, right? Similar to the blockchain idea, everything locked in the blockchain, it cannot be changed. So that's why I have this name, ABCD. And also I want to mention one more thing, that is our PolyU Faculty of Business has already applied ABCDE into our all curriculums, including our all professional doctorate programs, as well as the other programs. It represents artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, and data science, and entrepreneurship into all our class curriculums. Okay, I will start my talk. It will last around 30 to 35 minutes. You can feel free to ask me anything you have interest. So first, I want to highlight our PolyU's achievement in blockchain. That is, we ranked the first all over the world. And you can see that according to the CoinDesk, which is a major blockchain university ranking, and we ranked the first. Why not? Clap our hands. Wonderful achievement, right? Second, we also co-established a lab with R3 in Cyberport. I will mention the importance of this collaboration later. At least you can see there's a policy paper which contribute to e-Hong Kong dollar to the policy. That is, also the R3 is the first stage pilot run of the M-Bridge. Later I will introduce another payment systems which using the blockchain technology later. And also we have a very special achievement by our students. We established our AI blockchain by our students. All the code are written by our students and also audited by the third parties, which means that they can be used to the business purpose in the future. And also I want to mention that based on this AI blockchain, recently we developed the first nursing blockchain systems in Hong Kong. Also together with our students. We developed this with the nursing school. And also we have, I want to mention our major sponsor. We have another collaboration with the OSL, first licensed crypto exchange in Hong Kong. We established a research center together. And also the others, we have many collaborators. And recently we secured some collaboration with KuCoin and Bionics together. We got some major donations from those parties. And here, come back to the #1 ranking. When I'm writing this report together with the Department of Computing, and they're saying that, okay, we have lots of papers about technology. What can you offer? I say our FD had done lots of work on the advising and the policy makings. That's why we also mention lots of industry collaborations and provide them a very long report. And finally, we rank from the #4 in 2021 to the #1 all over the world. You can see that PolyU really are wonderful pioneers in these new disruptive innovations. And here I give you a basic idea about today's talk. I will cover these several parts. I know not everyone know about what is blockchain, so I would like to spend some minutes to give you a quick view about what is blockchain. And also I want to give you a very interesting question. Now you can keep in mind, what's the relationship between blockchain and business school? And maybe in the PolyU. And this is a story over 200 years. Here's a hint. I will give you the answer 3 minutes later, okay? Second part, after introducing the basic idea about blockchain, I want to ask a question, that is, the blockchain really reduce the risk? Yeah, many people are asking, well, what's the use, why blockchain is so useful as a disrupting innovations? What can they contribute to the business world? Yeah, some people are saying that they are helping to reduce the cybersecurity risk. However, there's no direct evidence or indirect evidence about that. So we would like to investigate. This is some part of the research, maybe a boring part. So we want to look at the blockchain or maybe some law related to a blockchain, whether they do have some consequences about the firm level cybersecurity risk. The result is a little bit surprising. That is, in short period of time, actually, the firm level risk increase. Yeah, we want to explain why and look at some interesting results. But we found that in a long run, after 3 years, on average, firm level risk decreased significantly. So this comes to another puzzle. Yeah, whether we should apply the blockchain system immediately. I just have some discussion with our guests, and we found that some companies are hesitant to upgrade the system because of the technology uncertainty. And also, this technology uncertainty also applies to the blockchain systems. So we want to find out the trade-off between the technology uncertainty and the advancement of this new technology. The second part, and after that, we want to get into the digital asset. We know digital assets is a big class of new asset or alternative assets in the world. So here we briefly talk about the Bitcoins, which are largest digital asset all over the world, to the bridge systems. That is, how the blockchain technology can affect our cross-border systems. Later to the stablecoin. And I will ask a very key question. We know that nowadays, Hong Kong government, Hong Kong MA, are promoting the sandbox of stablecoins, right? We have 3 partners and working on that. I want to ask a question. Are stablecoins really stable? Yeah, we know that in the crypto market, there are many major crypto coins players, like USDT, Tether, USDC, Circle, DAI, which comes from MakerDAO. In the old days, we had UST, Manis. Yeah, and also we do have some external shocks, like the Luna event, like the Silicon Valley Bank bankrupt. Yeah, we have several questions. We want to see that under those exogenous shock, whether the stable coins are still stable. If they are no longer stable, what happened? And whether we can learn something from this major exogenous shock in the stablecoin world. Yeah, I will spend some time to show you some figures. I do not want to give you lots of tables, lots of results, which looks very boring. I just want to show you some figures. And we can see the change in the trading patterns of those major stablecoins. And last, I will mention a little bit about Hong Kong MA's new initiative. That is the new stablecoin sandbox in Hong Kong MA. Okay, now we come back to the first question. Who want to make a guess? What's the relationship between business school and the blockchain? Or maybe I ask another question first and make things easier. What's the history of business school? Maybe ask another question. Which university has the oldest business school in Hong Kong? Being in Hong Kong, I think this is a little bit hard to guess. Yeah, usually we think it's CU, but I want to give a new answer today. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the history of the business school. We know usually, do you know when the business school show up all over the world? It only has like 200 years history. Unlike the university, there's more than 600 years history. And usually we know that dating back to around 300 years ago in Europe, the businessmen start thinking about how we can make the records. That is, how can become an accountant. Yeah, right? And around 1759, there's a first school in Portugal to teach people how to be an accountant. Yeah, the major logic behind it is that the double entry bookkeeping. That is, you should not put the account into one entry. You have to always put 2 entries. So this is very similar to blockchain, right? Do not store data on only one computer. You should store the data on many computers. So this is not double entry, multiple entry of the bookkeeping is a blockchain's major idea. So we can see that the initial idea of the business school and blockchain are very similar. they try to keep the record of many computers, of many entries. Yeah, this is first business schools in Portugal. They are teaching people how to become an accountant. And the second wave, and later, actually in Paris, nowadays, this university, business school called ESCP, still exists in Paris. This usually people think the first business schools in Europe. And from the US perspectives, we know the Wharton School is the first business schools in US. And I checked the history in Hong Kong. Yeah, we found that in 1937, there's a new school established in Hong Kong. It's called the Government Trade School. They have three majors dating back to close to 85, 87 years ago. That is, one of them is called Maritime Studies. And nowadays, Maritime Studies is still one of our majors, belongs to the Logistic and Maritime Studies department, belongs to our business, Faculty of Business. And arguably, this is the first business school in Hong Kong. Nowadays, it's changed our name. The name becomes the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Yeah. Yeah, really, yeah. The first major maritime studies. And later in 1972, our PolyU have another major called accounting. It's also the first accounting school in Hong Kong. You can see that even from the history of the business school, we do have lots of links with the bookkeepings, right? Link to the blockchains. And also, I think nowadays we have more link to the Web3 world, AI world, together using the blockchain technology. Okay, so first part, I want to give you a very, very brief introduction. What is blockchain? I know maybe not every of you do understand which type of the technology it has. What is block? Block is very simple. You can think it's just a piece of data. They try to make store some data, and they have data here, and they have two hash. One is the existing hash from the previous block. One is the new hash. So maybe you have already heard about mining, right? Bitcoin mining, Ethereum mining. What are they doing? They are actually just guessing the hash code of the previous block. Because only the computer can guess the hash correctly, they do have the right to link this blockchain, this block to another block. It's a very simple idea. Across the time, people are just guessing what's the password of the previous block. If you can guess correctly, you can put new data on it. As a reward, you can get Bitcoin. We are talking about Bitcoin mining. So this is a very, very simple idea about what a block. Similarly, you can see hash is just like a random number, but with a seed dating back from the data. So always people are saying that when we are trying to make some block, the next idea we want to train together. If and only if you can guess this hash key correctly. When we are seeing the mining in the Bitcoin, they are using many, many computers to generate random numbers and trying to figure out the random number can fit the hash correctly. As a result, I can link the new block together and I can get some reward. Nowadays, the reward is called Bitcoin. Was a lot. Dating back to 15 years ago, it was nothing. We know that more than 10,000 Bitcoin can only exchange for one pizza. But nowadays, it was a lot. Yeah, and blockchain, simple idea, just chain all the block which stores data together. Yeah, the data together, if and only if you can guess the hash key correctly, then you can link them together. And after you link them together, we will report this new information or this new chain block to all the users, all the computers on the blockchain network and store this new data into this blockchain link. Yeah. So next question we may have, whether we can revise the information inside every block. Why it can make the data safer. The main idea is that people always saying that blockchain, you cannot revise the data because for example, if your data is stored in this green block, whether I can change it. The answer yes. But you have to first hex the hash key here, then go back, hash a key here, and go back, hash a key here, then go back here. You revise the data, so change the hash. You need to use your computing power to get the hash again to link all additional data. And usually it takes more than 51% of the computational power of the whole system. Like Bitcoin, nowadays there are millions of computers are linked together. Like the mining machine is just one piece of computers linked together. It's almost impossible to have that much computational data to revise the private block information easily. So usually you cannot change the private block information. What you can do is that you can only add new information as a new block and change the block to the original chain together. That is, you cannot revise the previous information. You can only add new information here. That's the technology background, what a blockchain. I just want to give you a very, very basic idea about what a blockchain. Why they store the data and cannot be changed. Yeah, the basic idea is that they store the data in many, many computers. If you want to change the information for private blocks, you have to hack more than half of all the computers. So one question you may have is that, why the Bitcoin worth so much today? There are many, many different discussions. One thing, it can be the virtual gold in the digital assets world. Someone saying that because we nowadays have a consensus about the Bitcoin value. Yeah. Another reason I may give is that it may be the largest computer and run for more than 16 years. Has never been that. And we do have the faith it can run forever. And it's not easy to find an alternative computers that large scale and run for so long time. Yeah, so as a result, the gas fee is generated as a Bitcoin may worth some value in the market because for the payment system people, we do think at least it has some consensus. It can run forever. Yeah, we can hardly find any computers can run forever, but at least nowadays we can see the Bitcoin network. They run for more than, now it's 17 years already. Today is 2025. Yeah, so we think Bitcoin may value something in the world. So here, give some basic idea about blockchain. You can see that by nature, the blockchain designed try to not change the data in the past. We can add new information there. So here comes to one very important question. Whether blockchain really help to our business, right? Every new technology, we know there are so many great technology, but not all of them can be applied to our daily business, right? Like blockchain, we know it's very good. The very first business major application dating back to 10 years ago already. That is by the Goldman Sachs and Malone Bank. They established a new MBS, mortgage-backed securities trading desk by recording all the information using the blockchain. Already 10 years. However, till today, we can see the most of the major exchanges, they still do not use blockchain to record all the transactions. You may ask why. So I come to a very straightforward question. That is, blockchain really reduce the risk, mainly the operational risk or mainly the cybersecurity risk. On one side, just now we introduced the structure of the blockchain. We know it's designed to try to keep the data safer. However, when we want to really apply those blockchain systems, really we want to see the real effects of those blockchain systems. But that's not easy. Even the World Economic Forum, they mentioned that we do not know the answer. We do not have the data. It's really hard for us to figure out whether a company really using the blockchain systems to record their data or record their contract. We don't know. And from the argument, we have two arguments. Maybe blockchain, the design itself, they are designed to security enhancing design effects. That is, to make your business safer, to reduce the operational risk. However, in the real practice, we have some technology uncertainty effects. That is, maybe the operational is too complicated. Maybe there are lack of talent. There's some knowledge gap to use those new technology. Maybe on the other hand, the total cybersecurity risk may increase. We want to figure out, we want to give some answer, direct or indirect evidence to that, to think that maybe blockchain really affects the cybersecurity risk, but we don't know the direction. This is some recent research we are working on. So why it's not easy? Why it's not easy? Because usually the firms will not disclose whether they already implement blockchain or not. According to the this is 2023's annual report data, we try to scan all the annual report of US companies. If we include the keyword like blockchain and cybersecurity and cryptocurrencies, we can see around 30 companies disclose this information. Actually, we think maybe more companies are already using the blockchain systems. However, they will not disclose this information. So it makes it very difficult for us trying to identify the consequences of using the blockchain systems. So here's come to our research question, whether we can find some alternative proxies to help us to figure out whether blockchain can help or not. We are very lucky. And we figure out there's one quasi nature experiment in US. That is, for every different state in the US, they will disclose or raise some new laws. Only 10 minutes? Okay, I should hurry up a little bit. For example, this is like Nevada. There's one major act in 2019. They are saying that all the information recorded in the public blockchain can be viewed as a formal business records, and they will not be charged as tax. So we can see that looks some positive laws, or we call it pro-blockchain laws in US. And we can see that we have a contractual that is, after the state issues this law, the companies located in this state are more likely to implement the blockchain. Because we don't know the result, we can only contractual that, and we figure out some anecdotal evidence about that. And we found that in short period of time, that is within 1 year, after this state issues this new law, the companies inside this headquarters located in this state, their data breach risk or cybersecurity risk increase. That for a short period of time, we call technology uncertainty effect. Yeah, maybe because of the complicated operations or lack of talent, they are not familiar with this new technology. As a result, in short period of time, the risk increase. However, if we look at 3 years later, we can see that after 3 years, maybe the employees, the users has already been adapted to these new technologies, and we found that the cybersecurity risk decreased significantly. This confirms our argument. In short period of time, maybe because of the user's issue, even though this blockchain is a very good technology to enhance the cybersecurity, to reduce cybersecurity risk, however, it failed. But in the long run, when they are adapted to these new technologies, which shows that decrease of the cybersecurity risk. And also we make some comparison across time. We found that in short period of time, most of the break or cybersecurity risk increase because of internal breaks, not from external breaks. That is, really some users uncertain about this new technology make the computer become riskier. But here, for summary, for this part, I want to show that we found some direct evidence to saying that blockchain really have some effects to reduce the cybersecurity risk, and maybe also can reduce operational risk as well. So here comes to a very major class nowadays, that is digital assets, right? So I just want to show some figures first. For example, think about that. Nowadays, you want to take a vacation. You want to go to this wonderful beach. So usually the first thing that I need to change some foreign currencies, then take a flight there and enjoy the vacation and the resort on this beach. But nowadays, things changed. If you want to enjoy the vacations in this resort or beach, you don't have to bring anything. You just need to take some Bitcoin, your wallet. Just go there. And also can purchase best coffee beans out of the world. This place has another name called Bitcoin Beach. Which means that for any purchase you want to spend here, you don't have to bring any US dollars. You don't have to bring Hong Kong dollars. The only thing you have to bring is Bitcoin. You can purchase a coffee bean here. You can stay several days here. No cash, just Bitcoin. And this place, even in some convenience stores, they're saying that we are okay to accept Bitcoin. We don't have to accept US dollar or others. Yeah, actually, this place is called El Salvador, which is Latin American small countries, and they are trying to make some experiments there, whether they can really using some digital asset as a ledger tender. Yeah. Why they want to implement this new initiative? There are several reasons. Yeah. The first reason that only less than 30% of the people there, citizenships there, they do have the bank account. We are really lucky in Hong Kong because we can very easily access to the financial infrastructure. But this is not the case. I've done one CBDC assessment report for Bhutan. In that country, less than 10% of the people do have the bank account. And however, most of their income is come from the cross payment for the labor income in India. Similarly, in this country, most of their income are coming from their labor income in US market. Then later, they have to deliver the money back to this country called El Salvador. However, less than 30% of people do have the bank account. In Hong Kong, usually we went to the Western Union to deliver the money. You have like my helpers, every time they deliver the money back to Philippines using Western Union. She has to pay around 5% transaction fees. Similarly, they have to pay very, very high transaction cost. It's around 7.5%. Second, they have almost zero financial infrastructure. We are easy to access to the bank, very easily, just take 10 minutes work when getting to some bank. However, in this country, only very few numbers are banks. Third, they have almost zero monetary systems. They have very weak monetary systems. Everything is based on the US monetary systems. So here, they try to make some change. They are saying that maybe simpler with a cell phone and e-wallet and maybe Hong Kong ID or this country's ID, I can set up a virtual bank for everyone and store the Bitcoin inside. Yeah, the transaction cost dropped from 7.5% to 0.1%. Yeah, and also they're trying to say that monetary policy do not rely on the US dollar only. They can rely on a basket of fiat and cryptocurrency. This is the president of this El Salvador country, and when the Bitcoin price dropped, he said maybe we should purchase 150 Bitcoin more, yeah, and they want to establish some reserve for these Bitcoins. And here comes to the concept of decentralized finance. Bitcoin is one. Just now, I just gave you a very easy idea about using Bitcoin as a payment systems, which are called decentralized finance. I don't get into much more details. That is, based on the blockchain, we are able to create a system to set up all the cross-border payments. In Hong Kong, the major initiative is called mBridge. Yeah, we know that nowadays, if you want to deliver some money from Hong Kong to US, or maybe to Europe, you always have to go through the SWIFT systems. However, the SWIFT system is highly centralized. That is, you have to get approval by some US people. Otherwise, they will not deliver the money successfully. So Hong Kong trying to figure out a new system called mBridge. Yeah, we mentioned we have some collaboration with R3. For first phase, it's done by R3. Yeah. And that is built by the Central Bank of China, Hong Kong MA, and Bank of Thailand, and UAE Central Bank. So they try to build up a cross-payment system together in 2020. So they are around 5 years ago. So they try to develop a new systems, get rid of the SWIFT systems. And for simplification, they try to build up some bridge between the central bank. As a result, they are able to use a wholesale blockchain or wholesale CBDCs to deliver money as a collateral from one country to another using blockchain systems. It runs out very successfully nowadays, and later in Hong Kong, we're trying to think about whether we should issue some retail CBDC as well. So that's a formal part of the e-Hong Kong dollar or the stablecoin. Stablecoin is actually mainly focused on the retail CBDC, not for the wholesale CBDC. Wholesale CBDC is some cross-border payment across banks. But this is for individuals. They mainly refer to the retail CBDCs. Nowadays, our stablecoin in Hong Kong MA is also referred to this part. I just go quickly about it. And also, in Hong Kong, they do have the security token offerings. And last year, 2 years ago, the first green bond issuance through the token offering is done. Yeah, I think, Gary, maybe you are very familiar with that, right? Yeah. The first green bond issuance is also has been done by the Hong Kong government. Last year, they have the second round of the green bond issuance. And stablecoin, which means that they have the same value as the fiat, like fiat currencies. like US dollar, like the others. So we try to answer this question, does stablecoin really stable? And nowadays, in the digital asset world, there are three major players in the stablecoin: USDT, which are Tether, USDC, Circle, and DAI. And we know that we already showing some evidence to say that blockchain can really reduce the cybersecurity risk. Any other risks they're facing, or they really have exactly the same number as $1 forever. We want to look at one very specific shock. That is Silicon Valley Bank bankruptcy. You can see that after 5 minutes after the Silicon Valley Bank announced that they will go bankrupt, the price dropped by around 20%. This figure is very unique and precious here. Can you guess why? You guys want to make some guess? Can you find this figure in Binance or maybe OK exchange or maybe in Huobi exchange? I can tell you no. The only possibility you can figure this data is for a very short period of time in the OK exchange. Because during the period when the stablecoin are no longer stable, Binance do not allow you to trade. Yeah, that's why even you cannot find this figure. This figure only exists here for a very, very short period of time. But later, of course, I will today maybe do not have enough time. But we collect some additional evidence from the decentralized exchange, which cannot be controlled by one or two people. So we figure out this pattern really exists for around half a day, then go back to normal value. But among these three major stable coins, which one will be affected by the SVB event? Not all of them. The only one will be affected is USDC, because USDC has more than 30% of their collaterals is deposited in the SVB, Silicon Valley Bank. Yeah. For the others, they should not be affected. However, we found that they are significantly affected in market. I just show you some figures. Yeah, this is a major shock to stablecoins. Circle saying that, yeah, they got some trouble with the SVBs. I want to show you this figure. This is for the collateral assets of DAI, which is decentralized stablecoin. You can see all their collateral assets from the blockchain, from the Ethereums. And you can see that right after the Silicon Valley Bank announcement, the red part significantly increased. What's the red part? Red part is USDC. Do remember, at the first second Silicon Valley Bank announced bankruptcy, USDC value decreased by 30%. It should be not affect any other asset. However, because there's no limitations on decentralized exchange tradings, they can easily convert USDC to DAI, another major decentralized stablecoin. They're trying to escape from this risk to convert the coin from USDC to DAI. As a result, less than 10 minutes, suddenly the percentage of collateral assets increased a lot. Because the DAI is a mechanism like that. As long as you have digital assets as collateral, you can create the DAI. So the total number of the coins are not certain. They can increase or decrease. As long as you put the collateral there. You have enough collateral, no matter it has a value or not, they can create a stable coin for you. So here, they use the valueless collateral asset to create the valuable assets. So here, make us thinking, when we are designing a stablecoin for Hong Kong MA, whether we should exist some mechanism for them to easily convert from one to another, whether we should set up some Chinese war among different stablecoins. My personal suggestion is yes. At least from this case, if they can easily convert from one stablecoin to another, they will always take advantage of sudden events from externals. Here it comes to another evidence, which called mint and burn. Mint means that I create this new stablecoin. Burn means I destroy this stablecoin. We can see that for the USDT, usually they do not easily create or destroy the stablecoin for USDT. They usually lock all their collaterals in Hong Kong banks and then issue the USDT. So this very classical design somehow safer compared to the other stable coins in the market. You can see that during the shock period, lots of USDC destroyed, but create a DAI as a way to escape from the Silicon Valley Bank bankruptcy risk. Only because they have a not very successful mechanism to convert from one to another. So here actually comes to a challenge and the opportunities. I just mentioned that nowadays, Hong Kong MA is exploring the possibility to issue the stablecoin using 3 different companies, like Jingdong, like the Rounded Innovation Tech, and the Standard Chartered. And they're trying to promote the stablecoin as a retail CBDC in Hong Kong. Yeah, I don't want to say that they are really CBDC, however, they provide a mechanism similar to retail CBDC. People can trade, can make the transaction from one to another using the stablecoin valued to $1. And we can see there are many, many applications in this region and maybe will affect as a regulation part as well. So I quickly wrap up for some takeovers. What is blockchain? We know that it's a decentralized ledgers. They are able to store all the data and using multiple computers to store data. And we found some evidence to saying that in US at least, we see that there's some evidence to saying that blockchain can really reduce the cybersecurity risk. And also a major applications of that is that we can have the digital asset. And yeah, mainly I want to emphasize the importance of stablecoin, which is very important for the cross-border payment systems, as well as the daily retail CBDC part. And we use the Silicon Valley Bank as one major exogenous shock to examine whether the stablecoin is stable or not. And for last, my personal suggestions, when we are designing the stablecoin, maybe we have to diversify the collateral asset and maybe diversify the stablecoins as well to set up some Chinese word to make it safer in the market. So I will stop here, and I think I overrun a little bit. Yeah, if you have any questions, yeah, feel free to ask questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jin, for your valuable insight. Please remain on stage. Now it's time for questions and discussions. May we invite Professor Mike Lai to chair the Q&A session. Professor Lai, please.
Hi. Good afternoon. I'm Mike Lai, the Associate Dean of the Faculty of Business. I'm responsible for the quality assurance of our programs. I hope that you enjoyed the lunch today, and I also thank Jimmy for sharing with us the topics of blockchain and also the concept of the blockchain and cybersecurity and the stable coins. Now we have around 15 minutes to take some questions from the table. So may I invite questions from the floor, please?
Thank you.
Yes, hi. Thank you for your sharing. My name is Derek. For traditional currency like the US dollar, obviously, in the inherent value, we kind of trust the government when willing to pay back, able to pay back. And there's a long history of, using the America as example again, a long history of them being able to do that. But then for crypto, obviously the history is rather short compared to US dollar. What is the inherent value of that? Because there isn't a government behind it or a centralized organization behind to guarantee payback of certain amount. And whether new technologies such as quantum computing would undermine such cryptocurrencies' credential in the future as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much for a question, Derek. Yeah, I try to, when I'm preparing for today's presentation, I prepare some materials about it. And maybe you heard about one term called Mendelian trilemma, the impossible in the monetary policy for the stabilities of the money and the scalable of the money and the monetary policy independence. And this times, recently we are working with our students to see whether the stablecoin can partially get rid of this impossible triangle. And we found that, yeah, nowadays, particularly through the DAI, because DAI is the first decentralized stablecoin, which even though they have the value pegged to the US dollars, they still have their independent monetary policies through the decentralized autonomous organizations. And also their interest rate and inflation are slightly different from the US government created monetary policies. So we want to see that whether really the digital asset can make some difference in the market. Yeah. And for the second part, Quantum computing. Yeah, quantum computing is a major challenge in the traditional, particularly 15 years ago. Blockchain systems, they are using proof of work to mining some gas value. On one side, I read some articles and research reports that saying that at least nowadays the quantum computers power cannot easily attack the Bitcoin systems. We don't know what will happen in the next 10 years. On the other hand, blockchain system has been several new generations, not only the Bitcoin anymore. We have the proof of stake. We have several other ways to governing the blockchain systems. Yeah, will make things maybe not only the computational power is the dominant force in this area. Yeah. I think maybe there are some new decentralized governance organizations can help to resolve this issue. Yeah, thank you, Derek.
Okay, thank you. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Jin. Thanks for sharing your research, which is very informative. My question is about stablecoin and CBDC.
Yeah.
One of the key factor for the value of stablecoin is the underlying asset. Okay. For example, if it is a $1 stablecoin, and there is a $1 asset underlying it, then of course it's fully supported. Then comes my question. When CBDC is in full swing, we can use it in our daily life. It could go into our e-wallet, and we can use anytime. Would there be still any value for the existence of stablecoin? Thank you.
Actually, thank you very much for your question. Actually, you are asking a very, I want to say, debatable question. That is, how to issue the CBDC or stablecoin in Hong Kong. We do have several debate about it. The original version is still similar to the Hong Kong dollar that is issued by Hong Kong MA, then distributed by Bank of China, Standard Chartered, and HSBC. The classical way to distribute the Hong Kong dollar. Yeah. But later, someone saying that maybe this is too classic. We should think about something new, more innovative. And particularly, I know some relatively small banks, they want to participate in this part. So later, they have another version of discussion. We have another version of discussions. Think whether we can have some collateral and allow different institutions under the license to issue the stablecoin. So nowadays, we see the current version. That is, we have some tech firms, we have some financial firms. As long as you have enough collaterals, you are able to issue the stablecoins. But the value, I would like to say, maybe, I don't know who will take the risk of the stablecoin here. For example, like Jingdong, it's possible that suddenly the value decrease a lot. Yeah, I think government will not take these responsibilities because it's stablecoin and not CBDC. Yeah, the major responsibility is still the institutions. That's why they only choose 3 major institutions to try this sandbox at this moment. And also, I talked to Jingdong around 1 week ago. Yeah, and I think they are trying to enhance their cross-border payment systems because they have lots of current transactions among the Greater Bay Area together to Hong Kong, and whether they can use it as a very stable way to make these transactions. I think under the proper supervisions and enough collaterals, it won't be an issue at this moment. But maybe in the future, we really expand the usage of the stablecoin or CBDC. I think that issue may happen. Not every institution is 100% safe. Yeah, like in the old days, there are 4 major stablecoins in the digital world. Nowadays, only 3. Whereas the remaining one is called UST. It's issued by Luna. And when the Luna bankrupt, it's bankrupt as well. Yeah, it is possible to have the stablecoin has 0 value, but I think nowadays under the regulations, under the license systems, under the collaterals, we try to minimize the risk in issuing the stablecoin. However, they are not monetary policy. They are just stablecoin issued by one company. Like you enter into the video game room, you use some Hong Kong dollar to purchase their coins. Similarly, the coins are just coins and not your money. Yeah. Thank you.
We can take more questions. Please.
My name is Amy. I'd like to ask from a very layman perspective. As an investor, if we invest into Bitcoin or blockchain business today, what are the major risk exposure and in what area? Example like security, code, right? Yeah. Or bankruptcy. Yeah, just give us some idea.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Yeah, you asked me another version of this question earlier. My major answer is that the major risk is that losing money, right? Yeah. Yeah. I would like to answer your question from maybe two perspectives. The first is from the stablecoin perspectives. Yeah. I guess, Amy, you never invest in this digital asset yet, but in the digital asset world, if you invest in the stablecoin nowadays, the interest rate is around 12%. So your major risk is that how can you make sure your stablecoin is safe and stable? That's enough. And nowadays, if you are thinking about USDT or USDC, they are pretty safe, particularly USDC. They are under will regulations by US. Yeah, maybe DAI is something else because they use the additional digital asset as a collateral, then issue the coin. It may have some risk if the market drop a lot. They do not have enough collaterals. Yeah. But overall, I think these three stablecoin all can offer you 10 to 12% interest rate in the market. As long as you choose stablecoin carefully and plan your tax carefully, I think you can get a very good returns in investing in the stablecoins. I don't see much risk at this moment. Yeah, I want to say that maybe because of winners take all. Yeah, if I just enter into this market, maybe 8 to 9 years ago, at the time there are many different types of stablecoin. You never know which one is stable. But nowadays, there's only 3 major players. In the market, somehow they are relatively stable, I would like to say. For the second part, my idea is that Bitcoin is somehow, I would like to say, but this is not for investment advice, is Bitcoin is relatively stable because they have the most consensus about this market. For the second generation of the blockchain like Ethereum's, Polkadot, Solana's, it's not about risk, it's about the mechanism or rationale behind it, whether you can have it to enhance your investment or not. For example, personally, I like the Polkadot technology a lot. Even I mentioned that Gavin Wu usually will visit us sometime, which is the inventor of the Ethereum and Polkadot, because he trusts the technology too much. That's why he later created a new system called Polkadot and Kusama. However, if you invest in these systems, you cannot make money because the whole community is focusing on how to use the technology, change the ecosystem. But if you invest in the Solana, for example, if you ask me which one you are more likely to make money, I will answer Solana. But Solana, we know that there are some Wall Street companies behind it, and also they are not really decentralized systems. They have many servers are very centralized. However, because they have some pushers behind it, it's more likely to have increasing users as well as the investment. So you have to analyze the case maybe one by one. Yes, they all have different mechanism to develop in the community. But investing in Bitcoin is somehow the safest. Yeah, compared to the second generation, third generation of the blockchain systems. Yeah. Thank you, Amy.
We have 5 minutes. I can take 1 to 2 questions. If not, maybe I follow up further about the risk of the Bitcoin as the blockchain. I'm also from a layman's perspective. For example, I'm from the shipping and trade sectors. If I'm trading community, if I accept a Bitcoin and the Bitcoin value drop a lot, so I may refuse to accept this because it's risky. It's not just about the cyber risk, it's also the financial risk. So I'm just thinking about how to promote the diffusions and the further use of the Bitcoin in the trading community, because I worry that the transaction value will drop a lot.
Thank you, Professor Lai. I think I can answer your question from maybe three perspectives. The first perspective is that till today, the shipping industry, even all industries, do not really accept Bitcoin as a payment way. Maybe the only exceptional case is Tesla. You heard about that. You can use Bitcoin as a payment way to purchase Tesla. But because they have the trading desk, they will hedge out with corresponding risk. And maybe, alternatively, they do not view US dollar as US dollar. Usually, we call US dollar as 金本位 or 美元本位. Yeah, and also, if you are using Ethereum or Bitcoin to calculate your wealth, it's called 币本位. So different people have different belief. So try to calculate their total wealth using different measures. If you are using USDT, of course, it's a really bad way to use Bitcoin to pay it. But if you think you are measure your wealth using the Bitcoin or Ethereums, maybe that's a good way, and also can stabilize their total wealth, terminal wealth in the future. And the second, I want to say that in the shipping industry, even though the payment system are still using like USDT, using SWIFT, but their smart contract and shipping record nowadays, there are quite a few number of blockchain system to check all the systems. I'm not saying that blockchain is only used for digital asset or payment. They have different applications. In shipping area, I would like to say blockchain checking the logistics is running advanced, and also smart contract is widely used to calculate the shipping supply chain finance part nowadays. If you look at Ping An and Jingdong's supply chain finance systems, they are very well using blockchain systems to check the deliver and payment of all those logistics. Yeah, and the third part, yeah, actually, maybe I partially have the faith or belief, maybe in the future, or maybe even right now, yeah, the shipping industry has already started getting the Bitcoin already, because this is a very, very long history industry, and also they really have some gray area payment. I don't want to get into more details, but I think maybe they must have some useful places for those new digital assets in this shipping area.
I see. Thank you very much. There are lots of potentials for the use of the
Yeah.
Bitcoin and also the blockchain in the business transactions. Due to the time limit, that we need to conclude the sections. And if you want to interact with Jimmy, please, he can also give you some advices, and also to make you aware of some of the limitations in the use of the Bitcoin and blockchain in business applications. Thank you for coming, and enjoy the gathering today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Lai and Dr. Jin. Please stay. And may we also invite Professor Zhang to come forward and join us for a group photo, please. Ladies and gentlemen, our luncheon today has come to an end. Once again, thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you at our future events. Thank you.